Let's move on now on to the management side of things, because what we've seen right here is the housekeeper side, okay? So I want to give you some of the controls that you're going to see on the management side of things. The first thing that you're going to be able to do is obviously see the same list that they see, right? And you can see things like what things needs to be done still. And you can even sort it by housekeeper if you want to search what their task list by housekeeper. You can pick your date ranges. You can pick whatever you want to see in here, okay? So you have that capability, and you can double click on any of these. This is a full cleaning, and it'll give me all of those questions for room 101. This is a grouping of rooms in this particular one list, and these are all the rooms this housekeeper needs to do with all the questions repeated time and time again. So whenever they do, you can fill it out from here as well, and you can say whenever they do this room, this is going to be done, and then they did room 202. So this is a really quick way of doing it, not on the app, but for the managers, they can do the same thing from here as well. Okay. All right, so that's another thing. And then the last thing from this list that you can obviously quickly do is search by your types of cleanings. Do I have everything that I want? Which building areas, which room numbers, and so on, right? Maybe you want to look up a specific room. Have we done the cleaning in room 101? And you can see that, these are the cleanings in room 101 and so on that were done. Okay. Now there's also a calendar view. So you can click on the calendar and view the team schedule. Now this is showing all the cleanings that are assigned to this particular user and that are unassigned, but you can choose whatever you want to see. And this is what's coming up in the future, right? So I can see what's coming up in the future, or what's in progress, or what's not been done, and so on. So you can really see your schedule. This is really handy for a manager, and so on. And then, just for the sake of time, I'm gonna keep going here, and I'm going to show you one of the aspects of the software that we really help you with, because if you don't have a schedule done for your housekeeping team, we'll create it for you. Okay. So you just tell us, what is the average amount of time they spend in a room? How many housekeepers do you have? How many rooms do you have? And we can build what we consider an efficient schedule. You can then modify it and roll it out to your team. And so that's if you don't have a schedule. If you do have a schedule, even if it's on paper, you can fax it over to us, email it to us, doesn't matter. We will enter it for you. So the beauty about it is when you get started with CareClean, you're not doing a whole bunch of work to set this up. We're doing the work. And so now you can move forward and start using the system as soon as possible and getting the value out of it right away. And then if you want to tweak the schedule, you can always do that in the long run. I want to show you just quickly how to create those checklists that we were working on. So, this is a full cleaning checklist. This is, remember the questions that we had. So you can add any questions you want here. So you can say, let's add a couple more questions. Now I have a whole bunch of questions in my data bank, but I can create new ones. And when I create a new question, I can create different types of questions. Like, for example, it could be a dollar value. It could be just to answer this question. What color is the sky? Whatever it is. It could be a drop down. Yes, no, maybe. It could be a date. It could be a duration. We've seen that where it's like 1 hour, 20 minutes. So you can do it could be just a checkbox like we've been doing. So you create your question types and then you can select them. I also want to include, I want to remove the time, the stamp, or whatever it is that's in my current questionnaire. So I want to remove the duration, but I want to add is the floor mopped, and so now that becomes my new questionnaire, and you can see these are all the questions. Okay. And you can see if they're mandatory or not. You can also assign a timeline to each of those. It should take this long. It should take this long. And that'll be auto calculated. But now we're getting into the details. But point is that there's a lot of tools in here that you can use. Okay. We will also set up your rooms. So whenever we're setting up your facility, you can rest assured that you can tell us a list of rooms. We'll make sure to create them in your profile. And just some little additional things that CareClean will allow you to do is track your contractors that are related to housekeeping. So you can say, we deal with this chemical company, or we deal with, this maybe a heavy duty cleaner, whatever it is, you can track them in here. And you can also track stock inventory. So related to toilet paper, and some people were using it for PPE during the pandemic, right? Tracking masks and so on. You can still do that. There's Mr. Clean bottles, and how are you, how many are you buying? How many do you have in stock? You can track that as well within this software. So these are little extra bonuses that I help you with additional tools, and tons of new features coming soon as well. But that's the core of what I wanted to show you. From the housekeeper's perspective, they have the app, very easy for them to manage their day-to-day. And then from a manager's perspective, we do all the work to set you up. And we then give you the commands, and you can alter that and change that however you need, but it's very easy to manage on a day-to-day basis.